Hello, this is Mike Neville with OSU Public Information Office, and start over again. I forgot we were. Hello, this is Mike Neville with OSU Tech's Public Information Office. Today we're in the OSU Tech's Noble Center for Advancing Technology, and we're going to talk about a very special program that we call External Educational Linkages. And I have with us today Dr. Dick Tennell. And Dick, give us a brief rundown of what EEL actually is.
Well, EEL is a program where we can organize short-term, very job-specific training for mainly outside sponsors, a company, a civic organization, a group of people that just get together and want some kind of special training. In some cases, it may be something for our own campus, in which case we'd sponsor it ourselves.
Now, is this a brand new program, or is this something we've been doing for some time?
Well, we've been offering short-term specialized training for quite a long time, probably since the beginning of the school. But we've never got it organized to the point where we had it kind of a formal program to connect it all together and to coordinate it. So in the past, it's been a company would approach us and say, we need this kind of training. We'd tool up and do it for them, and then we'd kind of sit back and wait for them to come and to ask us again. Now we're getting a little bit better organized, and we're actually going out and trying to find sponsors who have special needs that we can satisfy.
Dick, what kind of clients have you been servicing lately?
Well, we have a variety of companies that have come in. We've had the Oklahoma Hospital Association recently. We've had some electronic companies in recently, and right now behind us here we're operating a program for the Oklahoma Army National Guard.
Well, with the group that's behind us right now, the Oklahoma Army National Guard, this is about the third or fourth group of these that have been here. Can you tell us a little bit about what they're doing here, what the purpose of their program is?
Yes, the Oklahoma Army National Guard is in the process of computerizing a number of their functions. These men are men who are located or stationed at armories around the state. We're giving them what amounts to some introductory coursework in how to operate a small computer as a word processor and as a spreadsheet operation, and a number of other things.
How many people have been involved in this program to this date?
There'll be almost 60, I think, by the time it's all over. This is the fourth group, and we presently have one additional one scheduled. It's been about 10 people per group.
Now, if another company or organization is interested in some sort of EEL opportunities, should they contact OSU Tech or you directly, or what?
Well, they could probably contact almost anybody at OSU Tech, or they can contact myself, or they can contact Dr. Ed Darby, who's the director of the EEL program.
Okay, thank you, Dick. We appreciate this opportunity, and that's it from OSU Tech. We're visiting right now with Mr. Paul Abbott, president of Covington Aircraft here in Okmulgee. And Paul also is the instigator behind developing AdvanEdge here in Okmulgee. But Paul, what motivated you to get excited about AdvanEdge and water jet cutting?
Well, this is a relatively new concept, cutting all different types of material with water. And it's a new state-of-the-art type concept, and I was just interested in branching out and getting into a new type of business.
Paul, what do you think the opportunities are for growth in water jet cutting, say, here from Okmulgee?
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunities. The aerospace industry is getting into composite materials, a lot of new type of materials that they have trouble cutting, and I feel like this is the new technique that will be used.
What are a couple of the major advantages of water jet cutting over, say, conventional methods of sawing?
Well, you don't have any heat while you're cutting, so it won't distort your metal or leave a rough edge on the edge of the material.
And is the reason for locating in Okmulgee, did that have some bearing on why you're staying here?
Well, for one thing, I like living in a small town, but yet we're large enough to a bigger city that we still have the convenience of the larger city. Plus, it's centrally located in the United States, and we plan on doing business all over the United States.
Sounds good. Well, Right now we're discussing water jet cutting with the Vice President of Operations for Advantage here in Okmulgee, Mr. Pat Martin. And Pat, you've got a detailed background in water jet cutting, about as detailed as anybody I know of around here. Would you explain to us something about where you got your start in water jet cutting?
Okay, I was introduced to water jet cutting while an employee for Rockwell International in Tulsa. One of my projects was to come up with some type of system to cut their composite materials. This was about 2.5 years ago. So we were, as part of our project, assigned to look at different methods of cutting, and water jet cutting proved to be the most economical and most feasible to cut their particular material.
Now, water jet cutting, you made an example the other day that water jet cutting has been around basically since the very first rainfall on Earth. We call that erosion, but the process is much more scientific today and much speeded up, of course. How new is the water jet technology as we know it today?
Water jet cutting as such has been around several years. The frozen food industry is using it. For instance, disposable diaper manufacturers are using it. So a lot of companies are using it with straight water. Now, the idea of abrasive water jet cutting is fairly new and has only been around about 2 years. We add abrasive to the water stream in order to cut the denser materials, the harder materials to cut. But
Pat, what kind of abrasive are we talking about? Is this a solid substance or?
the particular kind of abrasive we use is called garnet. And for heavier materials, of course, we would use a heavier grit material. This comes in grit sizes of as low as 16 on coarseness up to 350 on fineness of grit. So depending on the material we're cutting, we choose one of those sizes in between.
Okay, and the garnet then is mixed with the water in the cutting process, is that correct?
Yes, the garnet is mixed with the water and virtually makes the cutting stream a liquid saw.
Okay. Pat, how dense material will this water jet system cut?
Okay, we have cut up to 3-inch thick titanium, and titanium is one of the harder metals to cut. And on the other end of the spectrum, we have cut cardboard. So you can see the wide range and the versatility that this machine has.
And I would assume then that with the more softer, pliable subjects that you can cut faster than with the denser subjects, is that correct?
Yes, that's true. The softer materials we can cut also with straight water and cut at a much higher speed than we can cut the denser, harder materials such as aluminum or steel.
Okay, before you make a cut, I assume that you have to make some preparations, whether designing the part that you're going to cut or tracing it. How can you design what you want to cut?
Okay, we have 3 different methods of programming. The one I use most is called an optical tracing system. And I have an example. What I would do would be to draw this pattern on a piece of paper and then with an optical tracing system trace out the pattern, and it automatically programs as it's tracing, so it would be ready to cut once the pattern is completely traced.
Okay, and the other systems?
The other systems is there's a cartridge that's provided with the control that has 50 standard shape programs already programmed on the cartridge, and all I have to do is select the program that I want to cut. The other method is I can manually program it from the control using the system I have available here.
Now, this is a computer-controlled system, and these are the control devices for that. Is that correct?
That's true. This is a computer-controlled machine, and everything is operated and controlled by the computer.
Well, we're talking about using water to cut this product or products. Are we talking about just thousands of gallons of water, or what?
No, most people, when they think of this process, they think of many gallons of water, but actually we can cut most materials using 1 gallon to 1.5 gallons a minute of water. So it doesn't use very much water at all.
Is the water recyclable?
It could be if you were cutting the same materials over and over, but since we cut such a wide variety of materials, we don't try to recycle the water.
Specifically, what types of products have you been cutting recently since you've been opened?
We've cut materials, steel, aluminum, fiberglass, glass, plastics, um, ceramics. Uh, that pretty much covers the range of materials.
If I were interested in having you cut something for me, how would I get started on that?
Okay, you would just call our office at Advantage Incorporated and tell me that you have a requirement and that you would like for us to cut it, and I would request a picture of the material that you want to cut and give you a price to cut it.
We've talked about how to get this thing started, but Pat, how much pressure is actually involved in this cutting? Is it just a nice stream of water or what?
Well, actually, the pressure we use is up to 60,000 pounds per square inch. If you compare that with normal tap pressure out of your kitchen sink, you talk 50 to 60 pounds. So this is actually cutting 1,000 times more pressure than what's coming out of your tap.
Pat, we are having the open house this week, and I'm sure some people couldn't make it out to the open house, but what if they wanted to come out and just see the facility for themselves? Could they do that?
Yes, they can. If they will call the office and schedule a time to come in, we will be glad to demonstrate it for any individual that wants to see it.
Okay, thank you very much, Pat, and we appreciate the audience today. This is Mike Neville from OSU Tech's Public Information Office. This is Mike Neville with OSU Tech's Public Information Office, and today we're having a very special event here on the OSU Tech campus in our Noble Center for Advancing Technology. We're hosting the open house for Advantage, Inc., which is a water jet cutting facility. Now, before we get to that, however, I'd like to talk to Dr. Ed Darby, who is our coordinator of external educational linkages, and it has been a great influence on bringing the incubator concept to Okmulgee. Dr. Darby, first of all, what is EEL?
Mike, EEL is an acronym that is defined as external educational linkages. The real base and the purpose of this EEL program is to provide job-intensive training for the many and various constituents in the state and out of the state, ranging from business, industry, education, government, labor, education, and other groups, to provide them with very short-term, intensive courses and seminars that will be directly applicable to their workaday life.
Okay, now how does EEL and the incubator concept work together?
Well, we think they're very close companions. The EEL program, the thrust is, of course, to bring about and assist the economic development to further enhance the productivity of, again, our state and our region. And certainly the incubator, by definition, is to cause to develop. So in this particular instance, we at OSU Tech provide an environment with a facility and with certain areas of expertise and services that a new emerging industry or business could come here, get established, develop the credibility, prove their worthwhileness, and then at that stage would move out into the community and stand on their own.
Well, Ed, let's say that I want to manufacture widgets or new types of zippers. Can I come apply to your EEL office to establish an incubator here?
Well, Mike, you might apply, but it likely would not be accepted. And let me hasten to qualify that we don't want to appear snobbish or that we discriminate. Our being a technical college, we feel like that it's appropriate that the kind of activity that would be on this campus in the incubator would complement and would enhance the kinds of technical courses that we have. We say that the incubator operation ought to provide the kinds of technology that represents the advancing technology theme at OSU Tech. So Unless it was some kind of an exotic new zipper that was really a breakthrough, I don't think that we'd be involved with zipper or glove manufacturing or dog food manufacturing here at OSU Tech.
Well, Ed, I can see the benefit to, say, a firm like Advantage or some other high-tech industry wanting to get their feet on the ground before they delve into the marketplace full stroke. But what's in it for OSU Tech and Okmulgee itself?
Well, a great deal's in that. First, again, as I've mentioned, the activity as we have going with Advantage Incorporated and this new emerging water jet cutting gives us the environment, gives us, our faculty, our students, the exposure and staying abreast of technology developments. Moreover, as this firm develops, we would anticipate that it's likely that some of our advanced students would have an opportunity for part-time employment. And not just employment for the sake of employment, but having had an experience in working with Advantage, I think that it would enhance their resume and their credentials when they go out for employment. So that in itself is a very good reason. And certainly, like all institutions, we recognize, maybe it's not an obligation, but it's a worthy purpose to provide community support. And of course, OSU Tech being a statewide institution, and again, the kind of processes that Advantage brings would support statewide and even bring in monies, enhance the economy from states that surround Oklahoma.
Well, Ed, it really sounds exciting. Let's go inside and see some more of Advantage and see what they're doing today.
Very good.
This is Mike Neville with OSU Tech's Public Information Office, and today we're in the External Educational Linkages Laboratory at OSU Tech in the Noble Center for Advancing Technology. And the reason we're here today is to visit with Terry Blakely and Fred Archambault with the Toyota Training Network. And Terry, tell me what you're doing here today.
Well, we're holding a class for our dealer personnel on Toyota's electronic fuel injection systems, and we'll be here today and tomorrow with that training. We'll have another class on Thursday on Toyota's power rack and pinion steering repair, so we've got quite a program laid out for them.
Is the need to keep updated on fuel injection systems, is this the cause for this type of training?
Well, Toyota began with fuel injection on just one model in 1979. Down through the years, we've added it to nearly every other model that we have. This is the last year that Toyota pickup trucks will use a carburetor, so they're having to work very hard to keep up with all the new developments in fuel injection.
Fred, how extensive is this Toyota training network?
All distributor levels. We'll open our third one within the next few months.
And how many people do you tend to train on this type of program?
We are going to attempt to train all of our technicians that's in the regions and the distributors.
So it's a continuing program then?
Yes, ongoing.
How many times a year do you think they'll be in this type of training situation?
I think we'll be in it from 3 to 4 times each year, and that's from 3 to 5 days each time.
So that's an indication of the changing technology that's approaching the automotive industry and the need to keep updated?
Very much so, very much so. Plus, we just need to stay updated ourselves. It helps us also.
I notice we have a vehicle on the back, a truck, and you're using this for one of your training aids. Well, the technicians here, and these are technicians, they're already employed technicians, they are working on this type of equipment out on the field now, is that right?
Yes, this is a fuel-injected, turbocharged, 4-cylinder engine in a truck.
That used to be in racing cars only, didn't it?
That used to be a racing engine. I raced up here a little bit, but but this is a truck. It's a passenger vehicle type of a truck, and fully computer-operated automatic transmission and engine, so it's very sophisticated, state-of-the-art. Even the power steering has a computer.
As I look around, I see a couple of our own instructors in here, and that is part of the program, that they also get to sit in the classroom and take some advantage of your knowledge and skills. We appreciate that. This is Mike Neville with OSU Tech's Public Information Office.